Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Saturday the 23rd of September. Working our way through 2 Samuel with McShane, we read chapter 19 today as David returns to Jerusalem and is reinstated as king. But if we turn a little bit before that to get the context, back in chapter 16 we're told that a man named Ziba came and brought David a whole lot of supplies as he was leaving Jerusalem, as he was leaving, fleeing from Absalom. And Ziba was Mephibosheth's steward. Now Mephibosheth was Jonathan's son. Jonathan was the son of King Saul. Jonathan and David were particularly close. And now his steward comes to David and feeds him and helps him as he leaves. And David asks him, "Where's Mephibosheth? Where is Saul's grandson?" And his comment was, "He is staying in Jerusalem because he thinks, today the Israelites will restore to me my grandfather's kingdom." So Ziba says that Mephibosheth thinks in this chaos of family warfare, people might turn away from David's family, look back to King Saul and say, let's make one of his descendants king, and that would be Mephibosheth. So David, in response to this, says, well, if that's what he's like, Ziba, you have all the possessions of Mephibosheth and all of his father and grandfather's possessions. So all Saul's family's lands and everything were given to Ziba. Then in chapter 19, as David returns to Jerusalem, we're told that Mephibosheth comes to meet him and comes to welcome him back. And he says to Mephibosheth, "Why is it that you didn't come with me? Why did you stay behind?" And his response was, "My lord the king, since I, your servant, am lame, I said, I will have my donkey saddled and will ride on it so I can go with the king. But Ziba, my servant, betrayed me, and he has slandered your servant to my lord the king." So here's the other side of the story. And as a result of that, David ended up saying, well, you and Ziba share the property between you. But as I read that, I thought that is so true to life, where you have one story which sounds very plausible, and then you have the other side of the story which sounds equally plausible, and you end up having to decide between the two. And we know that later on, Solomon was gifted with wisdom to be able to discern that kind of thing. David was not going to get caught up in that. And it also just said to me that here was an issue, but it wasn't the main issue. So David could have stopped and said, okay, well now call Ziba, call Mephibosheth, you say this, you say that, what evidence is there, what witnesses have you got? He could have got, but David was focused on getting back into Jerusalem, on reclaiming the throne. There were all sorts of other things that he needed to do. He actually didn't have the time to deal with this as a side issue. And that to me was another challenge, that so often we get caught up in side issues. They might be good and right, they might be valid, they might be worthwhile, but if they're not the main issue, then if we devote time to them, we're missing the main issue. And so we need the wisdom to do what we have to do, and to focus on that. So be encouraged as you face contentious situations with two versions of a story, and you have to make sense of it, but always remember, focus on what the main point is. That's always the best. And know that we are blessed.